Okay, welcome back everybody. Now we are wrapping things up here with this second part of Unit 9. And what we're working on today is factoring by grouping. And so what that essentially means is you're going to factor multiple times. For us, it'll just be twice to get started, to get matching factors. That's the goal, because then once you do that, you can finish factoring the problem. Okay, let me rewrite that. That looks pretty sloppy. And you're probably thinking, this whole thing looks sloppy. Well, you get what you get here. My handwriting isn't very great to begin with, and it's harder with a stylus. So, okay, so here's how factoring by grouping works. So essentially, since if we're looking at the whole thing, and usually we're going to see 4 or more terms with grouping, but if we're looking at all 4 terms, there is no GCF. I mean, that's what we would look for first anyway, is always the greatest common factor. But there is no GCF for all 4 of these. So then what you do is look at maybe half of it. So if you look at the first half, so kind of look at the first half only. Between 15 and 5, I know that 5 goes into both of those. And then if I have x cubed and x squared, I know x squared also goes into both. So then that comes out as a GCF. And now 5x squared times 3x is how you get 15x cubed. You bring the minus sign down. And then 5x squared times 1 is 5x squared. Okay? Or, again, if you're still doing it the other way, you might have done this first. So you'd have 5x squared, write down the original term, divide it by 5x squared, minus, write down the original term, another 5x squared divided by 5x squared. And then when you simplify, 15 divided by 5 is 3. X cubed divided by x squared is x. 5 divided by 5 is just 1. It cancels out. And x squared divided by x squared is also 1. That cancels out. And so that's kind of the other option. So however you need to do it is fine. You just need to get to the same spot. Okay, so whatever you think is going to be easiest for you. All right, so that's the first part. Next, so we've kind of split it. This sign, whatever that is, that comes down. So if it's a minus, you bring it down. If it's a positive, you bring it down. And then you repeat what we just did. So, but now we're looking at the last 2 terms. So out of 12 and 4, I know I can take out a 4. And again, whether you do it the old way or the work backwards way, you should get 3x, because 4 times 3x is 12x, minus 1, because 4 times 1 is 4. Okay? And so now once we get here, notice these match. Okay, that's the goal. The first step is to always factor parts of the expression and then get matching factors. Okay, so these must match right here. And so now what happens next, mathematically anyway, is what you're going to do is actually remove this, the stuff that's in yellow. Okay? That comes out in front. So this gets pulled out. It's technically another greatest common factor, but it's the GCF of, let me see if I can highlight this. So basically we have one big term there and another big term there. And since both of those have a 3x minus 1 in common, you remove 3x minus 1. And then what's going to happen is you look at what's left. In other words, if you divide it out or if you remove it from both parts, what do you have left? Well, you have a 5x squared and a positive 4. And that's what's going to end up going in the second set of parentheses. Okay? So that's kind of the explanation for why we get what we get. What's probably going to happen is, well, let's just do example 2. So here's what it's going to look like for you guys once you've practiced this enough. So look at the first two terms. From 15 and 6, you can take out a 3. From x cubed and x squared, you can take out x squared. Write down what's left or remaining after you divide out the 3x squared, and that's going to be 5x plus 2. Or again, if you work backwards, 3x squared times 5x is 15x cubed, and 3x squared times positive 2 is plus 6x squared. Next, bring down the minus sign. And then look at the 10 and the 4, the GCF there. The GCF between 10 and 4 is 2. And now write down what's left, or remaining when you divide out. You're going to get 5x and positive 2. Okay, if you take negative 10x and you divide it out by negative 2, you get positive 5x, and then you get negative 4 divided by negative 2 is positive 2. Or if you're thinking backwards, negative 2 times 5x is negative 10x, and then negative 2 times positive 2 is negative 4. Okay, however you want to think about it. Doesn't matter as long as you get here. Okay, and now once we've seen that we have matching terms, matching factors right here, that one comes out in front. That is the new GCF for the problem. And then what's left? We got a 3x squared minus 2. And so that's going to go in the second set. And so here are the two answers for these two examples. And that's essentially how grouping works. It does get more involved and complicated as you guys progress through the levels of math, like Algebra 2 and pre-calculus and so forth. But for now, this is what you guys are going to see here in Algebra 1. Okay? All right.